Yesterday, Sentinels lost to 100 Thieves and are now relying on Leviathan. For those of you who are unaware, you Sen fans, what you need now to make champs is for Leviathan to either beat Crew, or if they lose to Crew, they just need to win this game, and Sen will still be going to champs. So not all hope is lost. We aren't guaranteed to not see Sentinels again this year, but they are relying on another team. So we're going to take a look at that 100 Thieves game and see what went so wrong for Sentinels. We're going to take a look at a couple rounds from both of the two maps here, and we're going to start with their attacking pistol here on Haven. Now, they're already 9-3 down, and the thing and the kind of theme of this video, I think, is going to be basically that Sentinels just played too many bad rounds. You know, of course, not every round is going to be perfect across an entire two maps. You know, you're going to have some bad rounds, as 100 Thieves did. This is going to be a very good showcase this first round, that you can play very well across an entire game, but still have a couple rounds where things are really not that good, right? But Sentinels just had too many of them, right? So let's take a look here at this pistol round then. So here is the round, and Sentinels, they're going to go for a bit of an interesting idea, it must be said here, and an idea that I don't necessarily mind. Basically, it's going to be an A hit. We're going to come down towards short just here with this smoke coming up, and then we're going to send Zekken, and we're going to basically do a kind of A split almost, coming through short and sending Zekken through here. So they send the drone in, you know, we send Zekken in just here, as you can see. He gets ready to proc his dash. This is actually quite a nice flash, right? Quite a nice idea here of using a breach flash through this wall here, you know, for Zekken to come through. We smoke off this, it makes sense. Away we go, and, you know, now we're gonna also, as Zekken is dashing in, we send in the dart, that clears some of the B site for him, we send in the stun, right? So we're darting back here, we're sending a stun down here. Okay, this is all a nice idea up to this point, right? Obviously, ideally, Sentinels are probably hoping that, you know, someone is like here and getting stunned, and Zekken can get a free kill on them. That would be the ideal. Unfortunately, there is no one there, right? And Zekken continues forward here, right? And this is obviously the goal. The goal is that we're going to come down A here, and, you know, this guy's gonna continue on. It's interesting, you know, I mean, there's some ideas here of Sassy, you know, maybe he could come and lurk up B as kind of a follow-up point if necessary, but he's just gonna come back to A. But just take a look at what happens now, because now Zekken is just gonna decide to stop, and he's just gonna throw a smoke down. And this is where I thought maybe they, I don't know, maybe in their scrims when they ran this, like, someone always was here getting stunned and Zekken got this first kill. That's kind of what it felt like, honestly, because there's just, this part to me doesn't make sense, right? Because we still have an Omen Flash here, right? Ten still has an Omen Flash, so if they want to continue with supporting Zekken, you know, once he hasn't found a kill here, we could Omen Flash down here as well, right? And really send him in, you know, and hope to get that kill if we wanted to, right? That to me would make some sense, but we don't do that. And instead, we're just going to end up with Zekken kind of smoking himself off from being able to get to that point. And now at this point, he's just screwed, right? And you're going to see in a second, you're almost going to realize he's screwed, because once he's put down this smoke, obviously they're not just going to ignore him. At this point, they probably still think they're doing a B hit. So, of course, they're going to come and try and, you know, aggro on him back. So he's now going to get, you know, pinched in from two different directions. But not only that, you might be like, oh, well, he might be able to escape here. But he can't really do that either, because he doesn't know if someone has, you know, come this way. Right, so now he's just potentially getting pinched from three directions, and he has nowhere to go. He's like, in this situation, he's almost always just going to die without really getting a kill. And, you know, I don't love these type of rounds, and we'll come to that a bit later. You know, well, we've just sent in a guy to just die, and yeah, it's got us some space, but as the defending team, if you're offering me on a pistol round, you know, to be in a 5v4 retake, I'm taking that 100%. And so I just don't really know if this was, you know, the idea if this is what we should have done had Zekken not seen anyone there. But this is going to be a good example to you. If 100 Thieves played a really, really good game in this game overall, this is going to be one of the worst retakes I've seen in some time.
Move forward, but look at the 100 Thieves players tucked in. So not able to capitalize on a kill. Now Zekken stuck and Cryo activates the shield, but at least that's no shield for the retake. For 100 Thieves, encores it. Ace, let us see you jump off. Catches 10's off guard. And that's the advantage now for 100 Thieves by 2. As they move in now slowly inside the A site. Contact play. First goes shot by John Cutie inside Hell. There's that second one. The quality tactics continue with the third on Tabusio. Now a 2 versus 2. Saucy is there to help with John Cutie.
Yeah, so most of the things I'm going to say in this video are going to be positive about 100 Thieves, but this was the one round. And kind of proof that even when you're playing a very good game, you can still have, you know, a very tragic round. Okay, now let's come to round number 15. Now, this is Sentinel's bonus round, or is it? Because here's the thing, they kind of only just survived the second round, So they actually buy up here in this round as well, which means that, you know, we don't have a ton of cred. So if they lose this round, they're gonna save. We're also down 9-5, so we could use with winning this round. So I'm just making sure that none of you can make the excuse that this is just a bonus round, and so therefore it doesn't matter. No, this was a very, very important round in this game, and the round that they called was not very good. And we'll show you why, because here we go. We're going to start over towards A. I mean, we'll come back to this in a second as well, about the overall macro game plan of this. But okay, just in this round for starts, they're smoking off this. They're sending the dart down here, right? All is fine, all is well. But then they're going to quickly pivot here, actually, to coming back and doing a B hit. You might be like, okay, this isn't, you know, there's nothing wrong with that necessarily, and that's fine. And, you know, out they're coming in towards B. Now, you know, they get in, we dash in, right? In we go here. We're going to get 10s TPing in as well. Okay, we got the smoke on the other side here. We just sent a breach stun down here as well that I think did hit bang on the back side here as well. But there is going to be a big problem here, and you're probably already looking at it just here, because what happens next is this, right? Where we're going to come out of this smoke, and there is no pressure here. There's nothing here. Right, there is nothing here. There is no util being used on these players, and they're not smoked off, and we're just doing a B exec. And so, of course, what's going to happen here, and also, by the way, you know, because we used the dart on A early on and whatnot, we don't have a dart for backside to know that bang is there. So, Zekken here is going to die to bang as he's swinging out here as well. So, obviously, that's not great either. But there's nothing on these players. There's no pressure on these players. So, of course, they're going to kill 10s. And then everyone else, it's like, well, then they're screwed as well, right? Because then it's just getting fully collapsed on, and you have absolutely no chance.
Bang is hiding.
A little bit of a body bump there, not giving a chance for Sentinels to set up towards this B site already. Celsius is alone and already picked off by us.
Okay, now let's come to round number 18. And here's where we have to talk about 100 Thieves comp. Now, this is not a completely unique comp. Fnatic are also running this comp on this map with the Yoru ISO here. It's a cool comp, right? It's nice, and its general idea on defense is you are going to heavy fight A, right? And 100 Thieves did this a lot, whether it be 3, 4 players, like it is in this round, right? We're gonna fight A heavy here, because then what we can do is we can fast Yoru TP across to the other side here, right? Once we've kind of won this fight out, we can then just fast TP to the side and, you know, shore up everywhere else, essentially, right? Or we have the choice to potentially, you know, leave the Yoru, you know, in a very pushed up position, at which point then, you know, if they get feel pressure, they can then TP out later, right? That's the kind of general principle of the comp. So we're going to heavy fight towards A. But as we saw kind of in that last round we saw as well, and in this one also, Sentinels just didn't seem to understand that, like, they were just sending out, like, little bits of util, you know, maybe we put a little smoke in here, we put a little dart in here every so often, right? It was just, like, little bits of util, not enough to actually win this A fight and take A control, just enough to, like, slightly pressure 100 Thieves a bit, not enough to take control, and then we just quickly run away from it and give 100 Thieves that control anyway. And that happens here in this round as well, right? Where you see, again, we're heavy pushed up for 100 Thieves. We're fighting this heavy. Tens is actually out on his own as well, right? So Tens eventually has to leave. We actually have to use a breach stun, I think, to help him get out here in a second. And they're just going to run towards C. But again, this is kind of not really what, you know, we've just kind of run towards C here. We've given up on A, but just take a look at what this map is going to look like by the time that Sentinels actually start this exit, because now they start walking down A slowly, right? The camera is going to see them in just a second here, right? And just take a look at the map, that when this exec starts, and this kind of thing where we're just barely pressuring A. So they're about to start their exec, right? They just destroyed the camera. We're about to dash in just here, but look at the map. Right, 100 Thieves, our Yoru has TP'd across. Everyone else has started rotating across. So by the time we're starting this exec, 100 Thieves are halfway there. Right, we are almost here, and we are going to destroy you now as we flood back in with the delay from the Cypher.
Goes crazy. Rolling Thunder still here, but they're just letting Zekken go in, like we said. Rolling Thunder comes up. Let's see who they can get in the bounce house.
There's a Hunter's Fury 2 being answered back by EU, and there's that connection onto Celsius. Bang
Another
also
one.
moves in, and a swarm comes across for the Thieves. Only one left alive instantly as all of the Sentinels fall inside the seaside. Saucy cannot hold his ground.
And this is where for Sen, I think, you know, they would have probably been a lot better off defaulting out towards C and B early, right? Maybe trying to look to destroy some of the Cypher utility early on. And then, you know, once this first Yoru TP has worn out, right, and this Yoru can't use it anymore, and maybe it's having to use a worse second TP instead, you know, then we can come and re-clear A, push them back off A, and then, we're in a good spot because, hey, we've taken control, on C and B potentially out towards, mid and whatnot, and now we've pushed them back off A. Now we're kind of our options open, but we didn't really see that too much. There was a lot more of what this kind of round was, where we're just, threatening A ever so slightly, but then quickly rotating to just another hit if we want to go, and getting destroyed. And then this last round on Haven I'm going to take a look at is a real pet peeve kind of round of mine, which longer time fans of the channel will know that I really, really hate this kind of round.
We're to see to start off after this timeout.
Potentially it's just going to be a quick hit too. Bang just got spotted on top of the C box. And there's that flash coming out to support. There's already 3 players here, 400 Thieves inside the C site. Decoy now shot off. The second picked off by Cryo. Once again, another first blood scored by 100 Thieves and already TPing away. So all the marbles now, all the eggs in this basket, sun the fake towards the C site,
yes.
Sacrificial lamb, and trying to go for a plant towards A.
I mean, they'd have to use Zekin like that every time, right? So sell it as much as you can, and now they're going to get the 3 plant in. Getting the ultimate out of Boostio, let him know. So we're towards A.
Almost there.
That was close.
Asna's with the dimensional drift, clearing out the A site, getting information on top of that. There's the kill contract. Once again by Cryo against John Cutie. They're falling like dominoes, and the hat has spotted Celsius rotating up on the C site. An impossible task as he gets picked off by EU.
So yeah, this is what I call an Aztec round. I call it an Aztec round because we're just sacrificing someone to the Sun God for absolutely no reason. And that's pretty much what happens to Zekin here, right? Because he's just going to get sent in to die, essentially. And I don't, like, again, he's a very good player, right? You're hoping that maybe he just does something crazy. There is one detail I do like, which is they send a Sova dart from here, that comes over towards C. Like, I do like that little detail. That's a detail that a lot of these fakes do miss. So at least that was a positive. There is one detail that I really don't like, though. And that is, I'm not sure that really Tens needs to be here either, to be honest. I'm not sure that Tens, obviously he could do the smokes from all the way back here. He does send in an Oma Flash that doesn't hit anyone, but he could be doing the smokes from over here and with the team as well. Because the problem is, yeah, Zekin's always going to die here, but the thing is, the fake is kind of given away when you just Omen TP, right? And from 100 Thieves perspective, yeah, that death comes in, and now we're going to Omen TP across the map. Like, to 100 Thieves, this probably just looks like, oh, it's a failed exec, and now they've just TP'd across the map. Right, but the TP is going to give, the Omen ult is going to give away that you're going somewhere else on the map. Like, at that point, like, is it even a fake? I mean, it's meant to be, I'm going to guess, because the Killjoy and the Sova walking down here, and we just send in Zekin to die. So I'm thinking it probably always was meant to be a fake, but just, like, look, instantly, right? Like, look at EU here. He's already running back towards A, right? Because that's what he's thinking. He's thinking, well, they just Omen ulted to A. He probably doesn't know that, all of these other players are here, but that doesn't really matter, because he's thinking the Omen's probably got the spike, or not, right? But the Omen is probably on A. That's where they are, and eventually they're going to get Cypher ulted as well. And that's going to cause them some problems. And so, look, it's a Hail Mary. They're down 12-7 anyway. It's fine. I just don't like that kind of round. But there was quite just a few rounds, in my opinion, where we just weren't putting ourselves in good position to actually win. Okay, and so I focused there on their attack side on Haven. But let's talk now about their defense side on Ascent. And we're going to start here with the pistol round as well. And so we're about to start the round, right? But already I have problems. Okay, I already have problems with just what is on the map right now. So Sentinels are on their defense side. They're playing the Deadlock, which I don't think is very good. But whatever. They're playing the Deadlock. Already I have a problem with this. I already hate the look of this. Right? I just... this is just not for me. One, they're very passive, right? Just looking at the map before the round starts. They're already very passive, which isn't great. But okay, we're very passive. Fine, whatever. That's what we're doing. It's kind of funny. 100 Thieves look here like they're waiting for a KO knife, but they don't have a KO. So it's not coming. But I hate this on B. I absolutely hate this on B. I don't really understand what this is even meant to be honest, because looking at it, I'm probably thinking like, because it looks like we're just playing with a player down, honestly. That's kind of what it looks like, but it kind of looks like, okay, this guy's going to take contact, and if he dies, they're not going to expect an extra guy to be on the site, right? And so we're going to have a bit of like a bait setup. This guy hopefully gets one kill, and then Tens can kill anyone if they do come to B, because they won't expect him. If that is the setup, I would question that, because I'd be like, well, you're playing Deadlock. So ideally on a pistol round, the wall is really good on a pistol round, right? So ideally, you're not dying before you put that wall out, because it's really good on a pistol round. So you better use it. If that is the case, then you're going to put a wall down if they did come to B. And even if you die, that's going to probably buy enough time to where they're probably going to think that someone might have snuck back onto the site anyway. Right? Particularly an Omen who might TP past it. Right? Like, that could happen anyway. So I don't even like the kind of theoretical setup here. I also just don't like that. Like, what are we? I don't know. I don't know. I just don't like it. Anyway, 100 Thieves aren't going to be, luckily for Sentinels, because I had no idea how that setup would really work. It just looks like we're just full baiting John. Also, by having our Omen back here, we can't smoke off A. Right? Just another little thing that we can't do because we've decided, I just don't understand it at all. Anyway, they're going to come in here towards the A site, our 100 Thieves, and I'm just going to pause it in just a second because in they come just here, right? So we're on the site at this point. They're actually on the site. And this is kind of a nice idea by 100 Thieves again, right? It's like a cool little exec, little bit different, right? Putting the smoke here on Jen. Kind of cool. John's now going to throw his wall down here. I don't understand this. I really, really don't understand this. Again, there's been no action here. I mean, he's been on this angle on his own for some reason for, you know, this whole time. Right? So he hasn't seen anything. He hasn't heard anything. There's been nothing in there. There has been nothing to here. And he puts the wall down in B main. They're on the A site. They are on A. Literally on A. I mean, the respect that this is giving to 100 Thieves. That on a pistol round, we're going to lurk, slow lurk up B whilst we're doing an A exec. It's kind of crazy to use this bit of util here. And obviously, again, like, if someone was there, is it making a difference? You know, like, if you were lurking, if your plan was to lurk B here, and you looked at this wall and you went, oh, I can't do that anymore. Does that matter that much to you, right? You'd obviously just come back this way and lurk here or lurk here, right? Like, is it making any meaningful impact? Remember, we are already out on A, right? So they know they're on A already. So I just don't understand this wall usage. Again, a bit of utility that's really, really good on a pistol round because it's really hard to break. And instead, we just feel like we've wasted that, and now they will lose the round.
There's only a Cameron to help them out. He was playing on the top of the boxes where he could escape actually freely, and it'll work. Lots of ghosts in the hands of Sentinels. Shares in the hands of Boostio, and goes for a couple of others as 100 Thieves are set up now for a plant towards the A site behind Jenny. Already a fight though towards the tree. Not looking for late lures, just trying to push once again. The same game plan for 100 Thieves to continue to fight where Sentinels are trying to come from. Bang with the second one. John Cutie flies and falls. But second there comes in for the answer, leaving now Celsius alone with all of these trades. And he's playing his Cypher so far. He gets the headshot onto Boostio. But with the door closing, that's going to waste a lot of time. Allowing now EU and Cryo to just set up this crossfire. And really the first contact is going to be EU as the spikes planted for him, and Cryo doesn't even care.
And look, I've already made a video about Sentinels and their deadlock, and the fact that, in my opinion, looking at John play deadlock, I don't think he looks that comfortable on it. I think he has to actually think about what he's doing. I don't think he has the agent mastery on deadlock, because I think you see the cogs turning in his head sometimes, and he doesn't just react, you know, like if you knew an agent inside and out, you just react, you just automatically do certain things because you just know what to do. At this level, I don't think John's deadlock is there, and this is going to be a bit of a funny clip to somewhat show that.
He has been brutal, and like we said, it was going to be tough for Sentinels to keep that momentum, and it was. Straight up cat, that push from Tens is going to get one.
Seeing them being a little bit more proactive, and the wall was thrown instantly so that Tens could potentially go for the TP back, but it gets picked off, and also no capitalization of the Blade Storm. A late lurk coming out
They're lost.
from Cryo. Smoke will allow for him to move through, and he'll get that shot there onto Zeket to reset the Blade Storm. Huge disadvantage now for the
Yeah, so John just locks out Tens as if he's, you know, been down to the boozer and had one too many or five too many. And is like, you're not coming back in. You'll sleep on the streets tonight, because, I mean, this is crazy. You know, out here's, you know, Tens, he's on his own. He's fighting for his life. You know, he gets the kill, and it's like, nope, go out there and, you know, do your thing. You ain't coming back until you get 3 more kills. You know, I'm just locking you out. And I guess the Tens, you know, could have TP'd if things were a bit less chaotic, but it is just a funny sign of things that, yeah, I just think that John on this deadlock, you know, just wasn't that convincing. And even, in fact, later on in this round, and this happened a couple times, I think, to Sentinels as well, that, you know, sometimes I feel like the deadlock stuff baited them a bit into, you know, you think like, oh, this sonic sensor hasn't gone off, so we're fine, right? And even though you know in your mind that that doesn't mean that you're fine, you know, you get punished for it because 100 Thieves seem to have a very good awareness that that trip was often going to be there towards Tree, and, you know, they just took advantage of it with stuff like this from Cryo, who gets a free kill. And then finally, to finish here, sometimes things just aren't going your way.
Because 100 Thieves is hitting their opening shots while taking sight too. Like, just add the icing on the cake already. Boostio starts.
Okay, so in this one, Sentinels are going to go for a little kind of tile shark attack kind of stuff. You know, they got the Odin here with the Sova that we're going to send a dart out here. We're actually going to smoke top mid. We'll talk about that in a second. And we're also going to throw a grav net down here, right? And obviously, as you see, what ends up happening is that Zekken ends up swinging into people who, yes, are crouched, but that's it, right? They are just crouched, and he's looking at multiple of them, and so he dies, right? The problem that they've got here is that if we just take a look at Tens, he's going to smoke top mid, and they're going to KO ult 100 Thieves, right? So the KO ult is going to pop almost instantly, right? So you see him now, he's turned. He's ready to Omen Flash this, right? So it would have worked. You know, this plan would have worked. You see, he's ready to Omen Flash, but he gets KO ulted. So he can't Omen Flash. And so then we end up basically just sending in our Jet to die. Now, I would still question, obviously, they don't have a KO here, right? So there is still, I would say, some risk more so than usual with going for these aggressive type plays. And so look, Sentinels, they aren't out yet, right? They just need Lev to win. And I would say likelihood, Lev probably will win a game, because Lev are pretty good. So Sen will probably still make it, which in theory is the championship point system working as intended. But I think there is worry here, right? There is definite worry here for Sentinels. They've now lost 4 maps in a row. They looked very dejected on stage. You know, until like kind of the end when they were making a bit of a fake comeback there on Ascent, you know, they looked very dejected. It didn't look like the vibes were very good. So if they do go to champs, they're going to need to probably refresh. I personally would just ditch all the deadlock stuff. Just get rid of it. Just start over. Go back to normal comps and just play normal comps, right? Stop with the deadlock stuff. Go back to normalcy. And hopefully, for Sen fans, start winning again.